The flames may be out, but a firestorm of controversy rages on after the assault on the Branch Davidian compound.
Mr. Clinton is now calling for a federal investigation into what federal police did right and wrong.
He had it in his mind that it was going to be dead or something else. You know, he made the decision. There's nothing we could do about it.
They stayed to themselves, and they didn't give anybody in trouble knowingly, as far as I'm concerned, because I didn't know anything about it. I don't know. That's just a tragic thing to happen. I mean,
yeah, what can you say? I mean,
that's right. What can you say?
The agony over the Waco tragedy is being felt in Koresh's family and the pain of his grandmother, fighting back tears during an appearance on Good Morning America.
The cult, actually called or known as the Branch Davidians, is an offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They broke off from the church and moved out here from Los Angeles back in 1935.
Good evening, friends. It has been over 36 hours now since federal agents first confronted a heavily armed religious cult near Waco.
This morning at news conferences, the ATF people talked about the problems they had out here yesterday. They said one of the reasons that they had 4 men go down was because they were outgunned yesterday. They were some highly trained federal strike force. They were loaded onto military buses. And then tonight after 7 p.m., authorities enforced a total blackout on all the lights. A short time later, we were told that the FBI command post was moving about a half-mile away from the cult compound.
On February 28, 1993, ATF agents stormed the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas, but were repelled by David Koresh and his cult, leading the FBI to bring in military tactics and begin what is now known as the Waco Siege. The Waco Siege lasted 51 days and 73 people died. And the court cases, lawsuits, and public outcry, mostly from the Christian right, lasted years. Alex Jones was one of those people who were furious about the Waco tragedy, calling it the worst thing the federal government did in 1993. Alex Jones would join protests and rallies in opposition to the U.S. government over Waco. At these protests, he met a lot of people and made a lot of friends, including Jeff Davis, a charismatic public access TV host, George Humphrey, a political science major and conspiracy theorist, and Mike Hansen, a filmmaker and camera operator. These would be lifelong friends for years to come. These people would get Alex Jones into a hobby that would become his future career. With his newfound connections, Alex got onto news shows as a commentator. He often spoke of Waco, but in the only footage we could find of this era, he's speaking on socialism.
You know, these so-called liberals out there, and then the so-called conservatives, but the so-called liberals who really think they're doing a good job, they think socialism is going to help the people. They think government equalizes the playing field. No, the big government is destroying all the real corporations, helping the corrupt ones that control it, the foreign banks and things, consolidate power into fewer and fewer hands, create the police state for the giant marginalized subclass that's being created. That's what we're dealing with.
Alex Jones, in early 1995, would start his own public access talk show with help from Jeff Davis. It was titled Exposing Mass Media. On the show, he would discuss the lies the media tells you. On April 1st, he would air his last episode. In the final few minutes, he would recommend one goes and watches the Jeff Davis Show, which he would soon be a prominent member of. Alex Jones would go on a long spiel about the banking system in both takes of his broadcast's final outro.
Hi, I'm Alex Jones, and I'm your host on Exposing Mass Media, but I'd like you to watch the Jeff Davis Show every Monday night from 7:30 to 10:30. That's an ample amount of time. And what I like about Jeff is he doesn't agree with everything he has on his show, but what he does is he lets a diversity of views that you'll never hear in the mainstream press on his program. That's why it's a very respectful program. That's why it has quite a few individuals in an uproar. But just tune in each week to the Jeff Davis Show, and I think you will enjoy it. And I think probably one of the key things that Jeff talks about is how our monetary system has been taken over by a group of international bankers. And I know the media has trained us all that Anytime anybody talks about the international bankers or says anything like that, they're automatically a kook. Well, folks, I think you look back over all the presidents that have been assassinated that have tried to put us on a new monetary system like Mr. Lincoln. Look on the greenback that Lincoln put out $4.5 billion worth of. It has a red seal on it, a red treasury seal on it. In 1963, he was assassinated roughly 4 weeks later. Many other presidents have been assassinated for this, all for going against the banking cartel. Understand that your money supply, your government is paying interest to private banks for bills that should be free of interest to you. Now, you should have to pay interest for a loan. That's fine. This isn't a loan. This is your money. You go and get your paycheck, cash your check. Understand, you're paying the government just to have that money. The banks control this country. You probably all hear about these mergers, a $4 billion merger, a $20 billion merger, and everybody goes, ooh, what a big merger. Understand this, in 1996, just the interest on our $5.2 trillion debt is going to be roughly $360 billion. $360 billion. They don't manufacture cars. They don't make computer chips. All they do is buy our government up for peanuts and then control our monetary system. So understand, folks, this is why you never hear about this in the mainstream press, because they're owned and controlled by these mass bank conglomerates that want nothing less but total slavery. I don't mean some guy on a buggy with a whip lashing you. I mean monetary control. I mean cameras on the corner. I mean thumb scans at the post office and at the driver's license, which they're doing now. I mean the banks. I mean all this, controlling your life. I mean bigger and bigger police forces with more and more totalitarian policies. And I'm not against the good police officer on the corner. I mean the leadership is getting more and more tyrannical. Drug abuse.
Take 2.
Hi, I'm Alex Jones, the host of Exposing Mass Media, a show dedicated to showing you the lies and corruption that are being fed to us through our national media. It's on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. on Channel 10. But what I want to also recommend to you is a very diverse show, the Jeff Davis Show. It's on from 7:30 to 10:30 every Monday night. That's 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. every Monday night. It's a fantastic show because Jeff doesn't agree with everything on, all the guests he has. But what he does agree on is diversity of opinion. He lets groups from all corners of the spectrum come on and say what they believe and show their evidence for government corruption. And also what he really focuses on is how our monetary system is controlled by a group of private banking institutions and how every president or person of upstanding stature has tried to reform this and allow us to print our own money. So you think our money's from our government? No, it's not, folks. The Federal Reserve controls it, a private institution. And this year is going to be $360 billion that we're going to pay roughly in interest payments on the $5.2 trillion debt. That's bigger than worldwide auto sales, bigger than worldwide computer sales, bigger than almost everything you can talk about. So just think about that, folks. The biggest industry in the world is banking. Not national defense, not the welfare system, none of it. It all pales in insignificance. But why do you never hear about this banking elite? Why do you never hear about it? Because something this big, something this good, they're going to keep quiet. And one more thing, those of you that think you're part of the establishment, when you've got a nice car, a nice girlfriend, you think, hey, leave the status quo alone, I'm part of the establishment. No, you're not, folks. You're getting taxed too. You're getting screwed too. Get involved and be a real leader, and not everything in the Patriot movement is going to be 100% true. But what is important is that we're not a bunch of wild-eyed people, bomb-throwing crazies. All we want is for you to be a free American and not to have to kneel on bended knee to the elites that are consistently more and more buying up this country and controlling it. I'm Alex Jones, and Jeff Davis has got a quality program, very diverse, has a lot of different ideas on it. All of them I don't agree with, but I think it's a great show. See you, folks. How was that? Let me keep talking. I'm sure this will be on TV too. I've seen some of their clips, pretty ridiculous. Well, that's a bright light on there. My eyes are very light sensitive. Got good eyes. Yeah, Jeff's got a funny show. I got to tell you, folks. Sometimes I've been watching. You got some crazies on there, but he's got a lot of good guests on there too. Ex-CIA people and everything, writing books, good old ranchers, and been in movies and stuff, and all kinds of people. Jeff's a funny guy. Big guy.
While on the way to work, Jeff Davis and producer Mike Hansen spotted 3 UH-60 Blackhawks flying through the sky. Concerned and conspiratorial, Mike Hansen shoved a camera into Jeff's hand and made him film it. While they seriously thought these helicopters might kill them or others, it was more likely that this was a routine flight exercise.
Here, start filming, Jeff. I got to do it. Look through the viewer and push the button.
The red button?
Yes. And then close it up, too. Go all the way up with it, too. What?
Hey, they're turning our way.
Well, let me pull over.
No, listen, I can't do this.
Here.
Well, I can, but are they coming at it? Now they turned away from us. They're going the other way. That's three of them.
Well, give me the freaking camera.
Yeah, go on.
They might start shooting at us. Got 'em.
After receiving this message from Mike Hansen and Jeff Davis, Alex Jones would go on The Jeff Davis Show, posing as a world love cop as a semi-sarcastic portrayal of 2005.
I like it!
Well, that's a good thing you got going there.
Hey, it's great, and I get to be a big shot. You know, when I was a kid...
And wear a ski mask.
Well, when I was a kid, my big brother beat up on me. But then later in life, I got to become a bully, and now I've gotten to join this force, and I like it. I get to make sure people pay their taxes. I get to burn down churches full of children. It's great. And then the media sticks up for me. The media's my friend. I'm part of something big. I'm on a team.
That's a good thing. Good thing. Well, take care of yourself. All right.
You know what my name is?
I don't know, Mr.
I'm a multi-jurisdictional task force under J16. You can call me Bad Boy. I'm tough.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.
And don't make me pull you over and knock your teeth out, Pop.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll be sure to stick my chihuahuas on you.
Well, you know, we like to shoot dogs. We do it everywhere we go.
Especially the little dogs that, you can't really fight back that easily.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, and I didn't like that Waco rules of engagement that came out about us shooting the people at Waco with the infrared footage. I didn't like it because it showed us bragging about how we were going to kill everybody on the tape and sharpening our knives.
And that's not really how it is. That was false, wasn't it?
Yes, even though it showed us our own BATF footage that we filmed because the BATF was coming up for reappropriation. We needed more armored personnel carriers and more tanks. And they were trying to stop us. So we just covered that up, and our friends in the media that work for Mr. Rockefeller, too, and Mr. Rothschild, we're all sticking together.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, listen, I appreciate your call.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate talking to you.
Hey, listen, remember, peace through hard work, peace through the community, peace through giving up your rights.
No.
And hey, we'll be here to make sure you behave all right.
Dance to the New World Order!
Oh, don't say that! Don't! I don't like it!
Dance to the New World Order!
You know, sometimes those right-wingers say, long live the Constitution and death the New World Order. I say to them, we've got the Apaches. We've got the bells. We've got the cobras. They're not going to stop us. If we have to, we'll make a few more boom booms to scare all the sheep to give away their rights. I appreciate your call. Okay, well, I'm going to take some more callers now that Alex is gone and I'm here.
This would also be the first time that Alex Jones uses the phrase, tagline, and name InfoWars.
You can love it. Yes, we have those Apaches down in Houston. And I've heard out at Bastrop to keep us safe.
Mr. Terrorist?
Yeah,
Excuse me, multi-jurisdictional officer?
I'm a peace officer.
Right, I'm sorry, multi-jurisdictional officer. What can we as helpless citizens do to have more military on the streets so that we feel safer?
I appreciate that. Well, you can vote for city council members that will increase our budgets and make sure that your police chiefs are like Elizabeth Watson was. She now works for Reno, my boss, up in Washington, our ex-police chief, and she knew this. She turned over control of the local police department to the proper authorities, and now we're under Washington control with the new crime bill, and we're getting more helicopters and more infrared and more automatic weapons. And we're hiring more ex-military personnel that are good and brainwashed. I mean, good and trained.
Just the sound of that makes me feel better when
What you can do is
TV.
you can call your representatives and ask for more protection. What's a good question? Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Why do you have to wear a mask? Why? What?
Well, it's for our own protection. You know, there's people out there that might retaliate against us for stealing their homes or knocking down their doors and killing their women and children. But we do that because they're right-wing. You know, for the Constitution and personal freedom. They would call themselves real liberals, but they're liars. Don't listen to them. They're extremists. I'm not an extremist. All through history, people that wear black masks, inquisitors, executioners, the Ku Klux Klan wears white masks so they don't see them. I'm kind of like the Ku Klux Klan. I got the media on my side and big bank money on my side and all the colleges on my side. So I'm kind of like the Ku Klux Klan. We wear masks so we can do our good work and no one will know what we're doing. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, look, you can see my nose. Look at it. I smell money. Drug money.
Kitties?
See what?
Isn't that cute, kitties?
Hi. I'm going to the schools, too, and telling them how I keep them safe. Well, I'll go to some more callers. Do you have any more questions?
No, I just can't happen to think of any more right now.
Oh, you can't think. That's okay. Just let us think for you. You know, don't be extreme.
I'm just gonna go watch the news.
Oh, thanks. Bye. That was a nice young lad. I'm sure he'll be part of the global occupation love forces. Oh, it's good to hear from people. Hello, you're on the air. Shut the fuck up, God! Why did we cut them off? Fuck you, God! Well, I don't know who Jarhead is. I'm Mr. Helper. I'm Mr. Peace, Mr. Love. I appreciate your call, though. Hello?
Hey, Mr. SWAT team guy?
Yes!
This is a Miami correspondent.
Hi! Oh, we do lots of good work in Miami.
Listen, what did you do?
Lots of big corrupt banks and SWAT teams and crime and abuse and raping of women on the street and just all the things that big law enforcement brings. Federal law.
Mr. Gestapo boy, what did you do with Alex? Where is he?
He's going to a mental institution where we're going to help him with shock therapy.
You better not hurt him.
Oh, I wouldn't dare. We're going to help him.
Mr. Gestapo boy, let me ask you how you'd handle something since you're a loving part of the establishment.
Okay.
About a month ago, I went from Miami up to Pueblo, Colorado, and I went in the courthouse to do some research, and I was dressed in a jacket and a tie. I was trying to help a friend of mine who just got arrested for he talked back to a police officer, and the police officer found some kind of law or something that he arrested him. So I didn't think that was right. So I went to check some jurisprudence on that issue. While I was in the courthouse, some of the women in there, which I'll call, they look like a bunch of Gestapo matrons, they didn't seem to like my anti-establishment attitude, and I got in an argument with one of them, and they called security, and up the stairs come running 4 armed police officers, and they all stood around me and bumped me shoulder to shoulder and walked me out of the courthouse into the street in front of the Pueblo County Courthouse. I'm just wondering how a loving, illustrious fellow like you would have handled that.
Well, I would have done more, and in the future we'll be able to do more. We'd have knocked your teeth out and drugged you and thrown you in a cell for a couple of weeks and taken you home. Then you won't cause trouble. And then later, even if you submit to us, we're going to load you on helicopters and cattle cars and take you to the FEMA facility.
Well, what kind of help is that?
It's to make sure the children of the world are safe.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that. Now I feel better now that I understand.
You better understand, right-winger.
On April 19th, during Alex Jones' third appearance on the Jeff Davis Show, Timothy McVeigh, with help from Terry Nichols, bombed a federal building in Oklahoma City, injuring 680 people. His reasoning was to get the people to recognize government tyranny. He was in the same vein as Alex Jones, conspiratorial and right-wing. In his manifesto, he proclaimed that the Battle of Ruby Ridge and, of course, the Siege of Waco was the straw that broke the camel's back. Alex Jones was furious, as now his anti-government movement, fueled by Waco, was now linked to this attack. People stopped protesting, and the movement was dying. Alex Jones immediately jumped to conspiracy. Jones theorized that this must have been a hoax. He began accusing the federal government of backing the bombing, and claiming that Timothy McVeigh never died, but is now living comfortably under the Witness Protection Program, saying, "I understand the kleptocracy working with psychopaths in government, clutches of evil that they know, the tricks of control." Alex Jones' reasoning for this was it did stop the protests.
Don't get sick, don't get strep, don't get bronchitis. Hey. So this money shit,
you will see
it's
here,
been on my mind, fuck your posse. I'ma pop off in time with the tummy miss. Yeah, this how I slime, I'm about to see some tits. Yeah, your mommy is fine, hey. I'm a good boy, I don't hit no licks, yeah. I'm a bad boy, flexing with some chicks, yeah. I'm a weird boy, smoking on some grits, yeah. Who that boy? I'm that boy, yeah. Yeah, got the sauce on the course, I won't be selling it. Your mommy keep on asking me like, boy, how you keep getting it? I'm dripping it on your bitch like a peppermint. She let me in, she told me it's a medicine. She got me lit like I'm a citizen. I got a lamp up over my head cause I know what's up, I'm sticking with a lady cause I know what's up, Flexing trying to save that money, so what's up, Baby, no money, baby, so this money shit. Yeah, it's been on my mind, fuck your posse clip. I'ma pop off in time with the tummy miss. Yeah, this how I slime, I'm out to see some tits. Yeah, your mommy.
Yo, hit that epic sub button if you enjoyed the funny video. Well, I guess this video isn't very funny. It's more informational. Maybe it's not even that, I don't fucking know. Hit the sub button, hit the bell icon, leave a comment, leave a like, have fun.